Okay, so we're just off the bike now from the little ride along, and we're going to take a little look at the Motrac 125 from the outside, and maybe hear a bit from it as well. I don't know if we're going to sell this bike, but we are. Just kind of show you the tyres are perfect. It only has 800 kilometers on it, so it is going to be very, very fresh. There's not one mark on it that I can see, but I mean, this little visual here will show you just how similar the bike is to a Grom 125. We have gone around the bike just to test all the bolts have been screwed in properly, because that is just a thing when you get a Chinese bike. You're just gonna have to test that, but they were all perfect. There's the fuel injected 125 engine, exhaust, rear wheel, so on. That could do with a bit of a tail tidy, I think. Seat over the top, tank here. It's just plastic covers over the actual tank underneath here, and then we have the two keys and your nice digital dash, which I might actually turn on and see if you can see. There you are, that's better. So you can see the fuel gauge here. You have your kilometers. You can change it to miles if you like. Your kilometers in the odometer, the time, and then your revs. So very nice little screen up the top. Original mirrors. That's this left hand side of the bike. I think what we're going to do with it is, you even have pillion rear sets. I think what we're going to do with it, we're going to actually take the Motrac stickers off. They are even nearly peeling off anyway. I think they actually wanted you to do this, but to take this off and then look at the Grom and put the Honda fair wing symbol, or whatever it is, the kind of winged Honda symbol or emblem or logo here, like it is on the actual Grom, and like that. I think another thing we could do, I think two real things I think you could do with tail tidy and maybe an exhaust, and apart from that I'd probably leave it fairly original, just because that's the nature of this bike. You're not really buying this bike for supreme power and all that kind of nonsense. It's more for just a fun tip around in town, people to look at you and say, what the hell is that? I do really like the under kind of the plastics underneath here. I think okay, sorry, I got interrupted with people there, but I think that's kind of it for the Motrac 125. I'll probably skip into a sound of the bike now at idle and revving, and then we'll go back on the bike and go home. Alright, as you can hear from that little sound test there, the bike does actually sound pretty good, even with the standard exhaust on it, considering it is just a little 125 single cylinder thing. Another thing I was going to say is the MPG of the bike. I believe I looked it up and it was something like 150 to 160 miles to the gallon, and I think the tank is about a 5.5 litre tank, so you're going to get nearly 200 miles out of one tank. It'll cost you a few euros, so very nice little bit of fuel economy. I'd say even when you're thrashing it around the city, which, I mean, when you're thrashing this bike out, you're not going to be doing super speeds anyway. But this is a really, really nice little bike for someone, and I want to actually use it. I want to use it myself for travelling in and out of work when we can get back to work properly. As a replacement to my Honda MD90 I had an MD90 which I rode every day into Retro Bikes Dublin, and we sold that there just before lockdown, so I needed a replacement, and this is what I got. This is a little Grom, and I didn't want the real Honda Grom, because I just feel the bike is assembled, I believe, in India regardless, or China, and so the quality that you get regardless from Honda or from one of these is fairly similar. I'd probably presume that the Honda's probably better quality anyway, but for the small money I'd be doing, I'm not using it for mega mileage or anything like that. I know with these Chinese bikes, if you don't thrash the bejesus out of them and you service them regularly, they just keep going. They're not too bad. They're not as bad as people have said. I mean, at the beginning of their life cycle, when Chinese bikes were just coming into manufacture in the early 2000s and kind of coming into the European market, they were pretty rubbish. But this is a really big improvement. I think since the main manufacturers have gone over to China to build their bikes, they've learned how to do things properly, and I think this is a result of it. But if you have liked the video on this little Motrac, or whatever it's called, M3 Honda Grom copy, please leave a like, also subscribe, and finally leave a comment on what you think of this bike in the comment section below.